Thank you very much, Ken Warkington, down here in the winner's circle with driver Joe Bongiorno. Joe, we've got some questions from our fans online. We've got some live questions here for you on track, so hopefully you're ready.
Absolutely.
All right, Joe. Well, first question comes from a fan online, and you've had success at Freehold, a little bit south of here, of course, New Jersey, and also the Little Brown Jug. So half-mile track versus the Meadowlands here mile track. Talk a little about the differences.
On a mile track, you could be a little bit more strategic. You could close typically more in the stretch on a mile track. On a half, you kind of want to be up close if the horse can do that. First over is not the worst place to be on a half-mile track, and you kind of just want to have you want to be within close range on a half-mile track, where on a mile track, if you're sitting back, things can happen in the stretch, and it's a long stretch, and there's time to get there if you're sitting back.
Next, we'll go over to Gary DeLeo, first of two on-track questions here tonight.
Okay, guys, I have Natalie here from Sea Caucus. It's her birthday tonight. She's here at the Meadowlands celebrating her birthday, and she has a question for Joe. Natalie?
Thank you so much. My question for Joe is, do you remember your first drive and your very first win?
Yes, I do. My first drive was a qualifying race when I was 16, a horse named Saratoga John for Buzzy Schulte. My first win was a horse for Bruce Lauer named Angel Allen in the amateur series over at Yonkers.
Now, Joe, another question was Slay in the Hamiltonian Elimination. You pick him up tonight. He was a nice winner in the Stanley Dancer. Talk a little bit about how you picked up that drive and how you feel about him tonight in that spot.
Being honest, I had no idea I was driving the horse until the odds came out on the USTA. Obviously, I was super excited to pick it up. I've had a lot of success driving for trainer Tony Alagna, and we've had horses for the Crawfords in Jen's barn, and I've driven plenty of horses for them in outside barns, and those are the connections of Slay. So just really, really excited to get the opportunity to drive them, especially coming off such a super effort last week.
Now, Joe, a question from a fan not related to racing. Tell us about your favorite hobbies when you're not on the racetrack.
Anything really to do not with horses. Like racing horses is very taxing on the body, and it just seems like I'm always doing something involved with the horses. So nice dinners, like I love good food. Try to go out on the water every now and again. Just anything just to take my mind off this and just relax.
Back over to Gary DeLeo for another on-track question.
Okay, Joe, I have a question for myself for you. Your driving style seems to be a little different than others. You're rocking in the bike, a la one of our top drivers in the 90s and with a big barn, Mike Agliardi. How did you wind up coming about being one of the guys who are rocking in the bike?
Just being really energetic and never getting tired, really. No, I just, some people like it and some people don't. That's everyone's opinion, and that's fine. Certain trainers think, I can get a little bit more out of one in the stretch than other guys, who might just be sitting there. And listen, there's obviously been plenty of races where a horse doesn't need any, urging or anything like that, and I could sit there nice and chilly. Obviously that makes my job a lot easier. But when it comes to a nose down by the wire, I might get a little bit more out of one, and maybe I'm slowing one down doing that. Who knows? But, for me, it seemed to work, and, for now, I'll keep doing what I'm doing.
Now, Joe, final question. This might be the most important question. This question was sent in by Jennifer Bongiorno, who asks, working with your sister, is it A, amazing, B, beyond amazing, or C, torture?
All three. Now, we've had our ups and our downs as anyone's had. Winning a big race, having your sister as the trainer and me being able to drive, there's not a bigger thrill for it to be, family oriented, I guess you could say. But the lows are low. When things aren't going good and the horses aren't racing as good as they should be, we're both looking at each other, trying to bang our heads off each other, just miserable. But like I said, I wouldn't change it for the world. We've had a lot of success, and hopefully it could continue.
We thank driver Joe Bongiorno for joining us here for Q&A on Hamiltonian and Hamiltonian Oaks Elimination Nights. Dave Brower, Dave Little, they'll talk that action on the other side of this TV timeout, but first, they'll take a look at the adios that just happened at the Meadows.